Speaking of scary though,
Yeah, this is. I mean, we've been laughing and shit, but
I
this
was
is
about to
some
say
real deep
this.
shit.
This is really
Like,
scary. More than 500 women have filed a lawsuit against Chesapeake Regional Medical Center in Virginia,
yep.
and several of its executives alleging the hospital allowed a doctor to perform medically unnecessary and harmful surgeries
Hmm.
on patients for nearly a decade. So basically, there's this doctor, a
Yes.
gynecologist, who performed unnecessary surgeries from 2010 to 2019.
Yeah.
He made $18 million
Jesus.
because he is pushing all these unnecessary surgeries. Ask me what kind of surgeries.
What kind of surgeries? Let me.
Unnecessary C-sections. And I'm sorry, but a lot of women know
Yeah, they push the
that
C-section when you
they
go
push
in, especially when you a
C-sections.
single woman and you going in there, you ain't
It's
got a
your first
father.
baby, maybe. You don't know what to
Yeah.
expect. They're pushing these C sections, and a lot of them are unnecessary. Like
Yep.
before there were C sections, women were having babies without C sections. So I
Yeah.
don't understand why it's necessary, like why it's overly necessary now.
Yeah.
Induced early labor. I was actually induced 2 weeks early,
Okay.
but that was scheduled. My mother and her doctor, they said, thought that it would be best to do like a early labor.
You're
So
right.
I was
Okay.
induced at 38 weeks. But you don't always have to do that. It's for each individual. So the fact that again you're pushing this. And then the most scariest part for me,
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the.
sterilize women without their
Cause what?
consent.
Okay. What can you explain? What does that really mean?
That
Like,
can mean a
explain
lot
that
of
to me.
things. That can mean that, a hysterectomy, like
Okay.
went in there, and sometimes when you have your baby, they can go in and tie your tubes too, since you're
Okay.
already kind of out there,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? But they can do other things too.
Yeah.
So they could uh give you a hysterectomy. You just up,
And I think
and
one of
you
the
don't have
most
your
egregious
reproductive
parts
organs.
about this is it was geared and targeted towards lower income black women covered by Medicaid.
Yeah.
So think about some of the most vulnerable people are, you know, a lot of these women are probably single moms or low income and they're on Medicaid, so they don't have the insurance, they don't have the doulas and
Yeah.
all the
And
team of
I was
people to
about to
come
say,
in
and I'm
and
sorry, but also young.
yeah,
Like a lot of times, a lot of low when you're dealing with low income patients, a lot of times because of the lack of education in these
lack
neighborhoods,
of
experience
experience.
in these neighborhoods, and also just communication as well
I was
with
just about to
medical professionals.
But the communication is very important because it's a lot of women in the hood. Like I grew up in the hood, so everybody having kids, but nobody is giving game to the other generation. So like
No.
when my auntie have a bunch of kids, she's not sitting my niece down or she's not sitting my nephew down or anybody down and saying,
Right.
this is what you do, this is how you do, this is how
Yes.
you get better. So everybody is going in there like it's their first time. It's just like the curse of generational wealth. It's like in the black community, we're starting over every
Every
single
single
time, and
time.
that's the same thing here. It's like
Yes.
these young girls are going in there 18, 19, 22, 25, and it's like they're starting over by themselves every time, and then they get these C-sections pushed on them, they get this and that.
and
So
and then you wake up sterile. So if
yeah,
if hopefully everything was a success with delivering your baby, but then that'll be your last one.
yeah,
So also the idea that these women were in their childbearing years, and then they don't have their reproductive organs anymore. Their
because they was
reproduction
removed without their
without their
knowledge.
knowledge is
That is
crazy.
ridiculous. This
That's literally
and another
crazy.
thing too about medical professionals, when you grow up, you are just kind of trusting that the system is going to do its job.
Yes.
So like
Yeah.
where you went to school, if you're a good doctor, nobody teaches you how to find out if somebody's a good doctor.
That's
Nobody teaches
true.
you how to find out if somebody's a
To
good
vet these
lawyer. Like
professionals.
these professionals, when you hear somebody and they say they're a lawyer, you just automatically think, oh, they know the law, they know what they're talking about. When you hear somebody, oh, I'm a doctor, I got on a white coat, I'm writing stuff down as you talk.
You could
You
get your
think
doctor that cheated the whole way through
you
med
think
school.
these people are vetted and they have some type of ethics, and a
Nope.
lot of times you got to trust people and trust humans to be humans, right? I just heard that quote: trust human to
Humans to
be
be
humans.
humans.
A lot of these people are sick in the head. You gotta make sure you vet them, and that's why the hospital, all these other executives are getting sued, because it's not just him; it's the system he was involved in.
Yeah.
Because
How was he
y'all,
allowed?
how was he allowed to do this for years? I could see if he did this on a few people and he got caught.
Like 1 or 2 years, and then there was an audit. It's like, hey, your C sections are higher than these
Like
C
why?
sections.
Like right?
Why
Yeah.
all your patients got all of this stuff? Need all of this stuff?
Where's the checks and balances?
Right.
And
Well,
I think
also
that's the fraud aspect of it as
the
well.
it's important to note that the doctor is already serving a 59-year sentence for healthcare fraud.
Mm,
But the one of the reasons why the executives is getting sued and they're a part of this lawsuit as well, this is not just one thing, is because there were complaints. They ignored them.
oh my God,
So
that's the
there
worst.
there were they people complained to the staff, people complained to the hospital, the board. They were completely ignored.
Mm,
So 500, I think the exact number, if I'm not mistaken, is 510 women
mm,
are named in this lawsuit, and those are just the people who wanted to participate.
right.
So we don't really know if that's the number, but that's the amount of people who wanted to participate. So
Right.
it's
And you
one.
know, when stuff like this happens, there's always, 20, 30 people who were scared to speak out
I was
or
gonna
didn't
say
even know that that was their doctor. Because that happens a lot of times
that
too.
too.
These judges or these lawyers get caught up in a scandal, and it's like, oh, this person represented me back in
I didn't
2015.
even
I didn't even
know.
know that
Yeah,
this person delivered my baby. And I'm just going through these different problems thinking this is just how my body is reacting, and
right.
really this person and took out my goddamn intestines or
I was
whatever.
about to not
So
intestine, but that's what I'm saying. Not only and it doesn't say exactly how much they're going to sue the hospital for, but
oh, they
I
about to
do
get
hope.
some bread.
I was about to say, but I do hope it is a lot, because who knows what type of care that they now need
Yeah.
because they had an unnecessary C-section or
Yes,
unnecessary.
that leads to a tremendous amount of other issues in your life that you didn't even know was affecting that.
So now you're a recurring patient. So now you've got hospital bills. So yeah, so the idea that this negligence can cost you for the rest of your life, and you might not be able to have any more children.
Yes.
And you wake up sterile,
Yes.
that's like that's like against every, forget civil rights, that's a human right.
Yeah, that's a
You have a
human right.
human right to produce if you so choose.
Yeah, and
So reproduce, I'm sorry.
this is
Produce.
one of those situations where you trust the system and the system fails you. I was just talking to a friend who's an attorney, and one of the things she talked about is, how she operates her law firm. And then I was just like, damn, I was talking to another attorney, and these other attorneys, these were like big attorneys, like these like the big dogs.
Yeah.
And they were saying the same thing. And I was like, I finally know how to spot a bad attorney now. It took me
What?
a long ass time, but like, for example, she was saying like she charged a higher upfront fee, but a lot of attorneys charge a very low upfront fee and just constantly bill you out hourly, and drag your case on 2 3 years,
Mm,
and they gonna end up costing the same amount of money. You gonna fuck around, lose your case, have to go to trial. You do this, but a lot of other good lawyers, They're gonna charge you upfront a higher retainer, and they're gonna charge you a higher hourly, but they're gonna get the shit done. So, like for example, in her case, she was giving me example. She was saying like when she submitted a motion, it was like a 20-page document. And it
wow.
scared off the other attorney. The other attorney, like, yeah, this shit ain't that serious. Let me exit out this case, dismiss. So on her end,
What?
so she represented her team, but
Wow.
a lot of other people would what they'll do is they'll just be lazy, submit, 2 pages. The judge read both of them. All right, this is going to trial, and now you sitting there like, oh shit, like now you
Yeah.
caught in court testifying, and you like, I could have just did all of this up
Yeah.
front. So she said like she put all her baskets up front. Now I don't know if this is the best way to do it, but I've talked to a lot of attorneys they went to the best schools, they worked at some of the best firms, and this is how a lot of them justify their price because
Yeah.
they get shit done. And I've hired a lot of bad attorneys, and they be affordable up front, and they're like, oh, it's $200 an hour. You thinking like, oh, that ain't shit.
Yeah. They gonna drag it out.
Case been going on a year and a half, 2 years. I still don't know when. Like I
Right.
still don't know what's going on with my case, and I'm just like,
What's
I know now
yeah.
that I hired a
Yeah.
bad attorney.
Yeah. And see here when it comes to your medical professionals, a lot of times, especially with low income, you go to the closest hospital.
Yes, and it's very hard to. It's more. It's a little easier with lawyers because sometimes you live to fight another day. In medical, shit, a lot of people
Yeah.
you don't.
You don't live to fight
And I
another
might
day.
talk about my lawsuit case with you over a beer. I'm not talking about I got my fucking.
Yeah.
I got this, sir. I'm not about to tell you about my
I actually
medical.
I actually think that should change though. Like I understand like when wounds are fresh, they're fresh.
Yeah.
But also there are so many people now that are going through something similar. Like for example, like my grandma, she had cancer and she
Yeah.
had a very specific type of cancer. And then she found out that somebody else had it too. And she said, you need to go to my doctor
Mhm.
because my doctor is the, like, we used to go to New York every, like, every third Friday or something
Yeah.
to this big hospital in New York. It was like one of the best because they had this like big cancer research center.
Yeah.
And so the reason, because my grandma had like a good job, she had good insurance and stuff like that. She just had a great medical team.
Yeah.
And when you're dealing with stuff like, even when you have a baby, and I think it's so normalized to have a baby, you need a medical team to help you because
doulas are so important.
doulas are important.
I mean, just having support and family in that intimate situation, because what happens is a lot of times these people go into these emergency rooms or you go into these healthcare facilities and you alone.
Yeah.
You by yourself.
Yeah.
And these facilities, these professionals that have no ethics, they see you and they see that you're vulnerable. You don't know this. You don't know your rights. You don't understand this. So they come in their white coat and their fancy
And you're
degrees
just trusting
and
that they know what they're
and
doing.
they just give you any type of recommendation instead of you in there and you got your husband or you got your
Yeah.
wife, you got your cousin, you got your dad who's a
Right.
doctor, you got this other
You
person,
got your
you got
doula,
the
you got
lawyer on
your
the phone just in
birthing
case
coach.
any type of bullshit. You got your birthing coach. Now people like, oh, okay, we're gonna get her in and get her out. We're gonna make sure we massage her. We're gonna make sure we treat her. You want some food? Hey mom, you
Right.
want anything? Because
Right.
they see somebody cares for you.
Yeah.
Somebody value your life, so they're gonna value. When people starting to see others don't value your life, they start to treat your life a little bit different.
And
They
it's
start to treat you,
unfortunate.
yeah, people, that's just human nature. People treat people who they perceive as having value, they treat them a lot different
Differently than
than a
people
motherfucker that they feel like,
doesn't.
oh yeah, you came in here by yourself. Ain't nobody came and visited you.
No,
Ain't
right.
nobody checked on you.
Right. Ain't nobody came rolled you over.
Man, when my grandma was in the hospital, all her grandkids, nephews, nieces, we all went up there. They like, damn, you popular today. And they got
And
in
you
there.
better know it.
And they
You
got
better
her.
know
They
it.
was treating her right. They got her up out of there. But you can go look through
Yeah.
those facilities.
Yeah.
Don't nobody be coming to visit those people.
Mm-mm.